Hello, and welcome to another episode of Contemporary Living Live, where we provide lifestyle solutions for everyday people. And I am so glad that you decided to join us because we got some good stuff happening today. Yes, we do. Well, we are now fully engaged in Women's History Month, and a happy Women's History Month to you. I hope everything is going well so far, but you know as I do, all news ain't good news. How about those gas prices? Ooh, I don't know about you, but right now we're spending 20 to $25 for every fill up, for each fill up. So I was thinking about it. I was like, imagine if you had to do several fill ups a week for transportation to the job, taking the kids to school or to practice, just running errands, just simple things like that. I mean, those dollars really add up. They almost add up to another bill. So, we've already seen the prices rise when, last year as they started to lift the COVID restrictions. So gas prices were being lifted because consumer demand. But now, with Russia invading Ukraine, the United States start placing sanctions on, Russia's oil imports, and that's causing gas prices to rise, especially if we don't want to leverage it out using our own reserves. So, ergo, high gas prices, but it's okay. I listened to, what motivated me today. I listened to that song by Fat Man Scoop. If you got $100 bill, put your hands up. If you got a $20 bill, put your hands up. But yeah, that was like 14 years ago from the YouTube video. But that song kind of motivated me because you're blessed to have money in your pocket and be able to do the things that you need to do for yourself and for your family. So it is a blessing. So we still celebrate that, but also we want to just brace ourselves because this uptick, gases in gas prices means that it could be here for a while. So we'll just see about that. But let's just move on to our housekeeping notes. So you can find Contemporary Living on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on IG. And if you want to get in contact with us, you can go to info@contemporarylivinglive.com. That's info@contemporarylivinglive.com. We're not hard to find, and we would love to hear from you. So like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and send us messages, comments, suggestions, anything you have that would help us make our platform better, because our platform is your platform. So tonight's guest, let's talk about it. I want to ask you a question. I'm going to start off by asking a question. Do you have some areas in your life where you don't feel like you're thriving, or you just don't feel satisfied and content? Where are you at right now? Because you might need a life coach. And before you say, I ain't paying for no life coach, you know how we get with, especially now with the gas prices that I just talked about. But life coaches can help you figure out not only, where you are, but they can help you get to where you want to be. And so I was reading a life hack article, and it had 12 major signs that you really need a life coach. So I'm gonna put those 12 up before you now. So I want you to think about that as we talk to tonight's guest. So are you feeling lost and confused? You might need a life coach. Do you doubt yourself? Do you have a vision but no clear plan? Do you want to change your profession? Do you need to improve your health or finances? I'll just throw that in there. That's what I like to do. Do you tend to forget things? Do you always follow through? Are you a procrastinator? What if you don't have a lot of time to waste and you're trying to manage your time? Do you need more money? Are you susceptible to stress? Or something as simple as, do you need a boost in your confidence? And I'm sure we've all felt like that at some time, but Mel is going to break some of those things down for us as to why we might need a life coach. But if you are feeling any type of way about those 12 things that I just mentioned, then stick around, because we will be addressing those things. So who do we have tonight? Tonight, our guest is my friend, Miss Mel Byrd. Melody Byrd is a versatile, outgoing, and ambitious student of life. I like that. We should all be students of life. And maybe she could tell us how she came to that sentence. That's really nice. As well as an accomplished life coach, speaker, and trainer. And she's an author too. Let's not forget about that. She believes in the power of positive thought and is the creator of opportunities that empower others toward greatness. Yes, we got something special in Mel tonight. Melody is the owner of Mel Speaks Life, a speaking and coaching practice that teaches others how to excel personally and professionally using authentic communication. Because of her passion for communication and leadership, she is an officer for Toastmasters and a leader in her church, Christ Universal Temple. Melody is an active member of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, where she has provided mentoring and training for the past 25 years. Professionally, Melody is a learning and development manager who manages a STEM training program called Step It Up. And if that wasn't enough, so we've already seen a little bit of how dynamic she is. And if that wasn't enough, she recently became a contributing author to two, not one, but two Amazon International best-selling books. Melody is not sure of her next move. Well, that's what she says. But she thinks it may include a transformative retreat in Cancun. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Melody Byrd. Dania Jenkins says, yes.
Hello. Hey, y'all. Hey, everybody who
Go
dialed
ahead,
in.
Janine. They're like, yay, Mel. You got you. Look at Tammy Matthews. Yay. We want to give a shout out to everybody watching. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, Tammy says, Mel's an awesome coach.
Yep.
I know this too.
Thank you.
I know this too, Tammy. You are absolutely correct. It is so good to have you on Contemporary Living Live. I've already told everybody we're friends, but I know they didn't come here to hear our story. They came here to hear your story and see your coaching and everything you do. I see Erica in the house. Hello, Erica of
Hey.
Tino Nails. Hello. But I want to get this cracking. You look absolutely amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. So, how have you been at this Women's History Month? How's Women's History Month been treating you?
Ooh, it's been awesome. I posted on Facebook because I am 57 years old, and sometimes I have to stop and think, like, how old am I? Soon to be
Girl.
60, girl, soon to be 60. And I was posting like, come on, ladies, let's accept our ages. Let's accept our ages. Let's accept our weight, like all that kind of stuff. I weigh 190 pounds. Y'all want to know? I weigh 190 pounds. Accept who you are. That's part of living the most amazing and authentic life, because that's the fact. The fact
heard that.
what you weigh and how old you are, and the sooner you can accept that about yourself, the sooner others can accept that as well.
You know what? That is so beautiful, because authenticity matters, Mel, because it does hinder you from being your best self.
Yeah, because people get stuck. They're like hiding out. You know, we got these girdles, we got these wigs, and I do wear wigs sometimes. Right. That's to change it up for the men. No, that ain't to hide my natural curly locks. You know, these curly locks that God gave me, as they call it, Kiki curly hair.
Absolutely.
But yeah, the sooner you can accept yourself and then bring your full self to life, that means to work, in the community, to church, to your friendship, to whatever relationships, intimate relationships.
Yep.
You know, doing things with the lights on. Doing things with your clothes off, speaking your truth. Like, the sooner you can do that, the sooner you can have the most amazing life ever.
And I want to give a shout out to Yvette, who says she just made it. Thank you. She's one of my Army vets, and she's doing her thing with 100 Pretty Purses. Shout out to 100 Pretty Purses. They've got an event going next month, April 30th, but we will talk about that later. But you know what I want to get into, because it takes what you're saying now. It takes a lot. You didn't just, we go through our things in life. So you understand that people, or women especially, we hide behind those things. And like, I hid behind perfection. And, and there's no such thing as perfection, but I hid behind the fact that everything's got to be right. And if it's not right, it can't be done. I hid behind, I don't have any makeup on. Let me not do a video. And I'm just now coming out of that. Now, the weight thing, I'm 180 pounds, 5'7". Okay. All right. There's the confession. But I keep telling people I want to get back to my fighting weight.
Yeah.
I want to get back to my fighting weight. And so maybe you can, because I know it's maybe some women on here dealing with weight and things like that. And we're already into this conversation, but I want to know your origin story.
Yeah.
Tell us about, how did you become the dynamic woman that you are today?
Right. It took,
a little journey.
I know, right? So like Ayala says, you have to do your work. Now, when I was 20, I didn't know what that meant. Doing my work was doing homework, because I barely graduated college, y'all. But hey, my GPA ain't on my diploma, so I'm excited about that. Shout out to the Fighting Illini. And then I was married, but knew nothing about marriage. I thought marriage was like it was on the Cosby Show, in that we'd argue and everything would be resolved in 30 minutes. And when that didn't happen, I said, well, I have to have a divorce, and I'm gonna find the most perfect man ever to have kids. Well, the perfect man doesn't exist, so I don't have kids.
Mm,
So it wasn't
okay.
until I was about 45, I took a course through Landmark Worldwide called the Landmark Forum.
And
And
she
that's
introduced me to Landmark, you guys, so I know all
right.
about it too.
Yep.
I'm telling
Landmark
you,
is
this woman is
free.
amazing.
Yes, yes. You want to take your life to the next level. Yes, it takes some coaching. And for me, it took a course at Landmark and that transformed my life. And from that point on, I said, well, I know some really important stuff, really amazing stuff, and I can help other people. And it took me a minute, but then I said, I'm going to start down this life coaching trail. And I started just coaching people on the side. And then God sent me a real true life coaching job at work. I'm called coach. That is my
Ooh.
job at work. So I manage a technology training program where we hire
Mhm,
minorities, women, and veterans. We train them in technology and give them high paying jobs.
mhm.
And eventually I said, well, let me just continue to share my blessings and share my gifts. And my work on this earth is service. Like I know why I'm here, and it is for service. So nobody could turn me around from that. And that's what I'm living into. That's what makes me happy. And I love doing it.
So you know what, you something struck, because I mean it's so funny because of course I did a whole career in the military, support nonprofits, hosted nonprofits events, always involved with my community. And why do you think service drives you? Why is it service?
Because there are so many people that are looking for something.
Yes.
So
Yes.
many people that are lost. They don't know what's their next step. The pandemic just made it worse because people are sitting at home with their thoughts.
Yep.
And your thoughts are not always the best thoughts because for
Right.
some reason there's always this little negative critic that's
Yep.
always going off in your head. And we're sitting at home, that's like all you hear. It's not until you step outside till you start to hear some things about, oh, how amazing you are, how awesome
Right.
you are. We forget. At my church, we say that's where struggling comes from. Did you
Mm-hmm.
forget how awesome
Yep.
and amazing you are? But I know that my role in life is to help people, remind people of how amazing they are, remind them of how awesome they are. And sometimes that takes service. So I do a lot of things for free. I speak for free, I coach for
Mm-hmm.
free, I train for free. Thank God he gave me an amazing job that allows me to do all the stuff that he has said I am to do for
Mm-hmm.
free. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that service works. And I tell people, you get down on yourself, you don't feel like you are your best, go do some service. Go out
Absolutely.
there. It's not until you're out serving dinner on Lower Wacker with homeless people.
Yes.
They are accustomed to standing up eating because they don't have anywhere to sit. It's not
Absolutely.
until they're accustomed to, oh, you gave me a fork, because they usually eat with their hands.
Yep.
So
Yep.
you do a little service. If you feeling down on yourself, you go and do some service. You talk to homeless people, talk to homeless children, kids,
Mm-hmm.
teenagers, or in their 20s who don't want to appear homeless. So they try to dress like they're not homeless, but they are homeless. And if I
Mm-hmm.
can help just one person, then guess what?
Yeah.
My living is not in vain.
There you go. That is beautiful. So one of the things that we talked about were thoughts. What you mentioned were thoughts. So
Mhm.
we have, I think it's like 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day. There are a lot of thoughts that we have. And then statistics show that most of those thoughts are negative.
Mhm. Yeah, they are because we are so critical of ourselves, right? We take a selfie. You know, some people it takes them forever to post a selfie. Right? They take the selfie and all they do is criticize. Ooh, my nose look too big. Your nose ain't gonna look no smaller.
Right.
We try to say, ooh,
Right.
let me turn it a certain way so y'all see how big my nose is. God gave you
Right.
that nose. He ain't made
Your
no
good side. Your good side.
I just said, like, one of my eyes is lazy sometimes. And people like, what's wrong with your eye? I'll be like, that's how God made it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. How you looking
Hmm.
at it? So
Right.
sometimes you have to realize that all those thoughts that come into your head, they're not good thoughts. They're not the right thoughts. They're not, especially if they're not moving you forward, if they're not
Absolutely.
encouraging you to take a step towards your
Hmm.
dream, towards your goals, avoid those thoughts. And we have to consciously and on purpose think positively. And if you forget, just pull up YouTube, go Google, pull up contemporary living, pull up
There
one of
you go.
their shows, right? And get
Absolutely.
yourself right. Look for some affirmations. Speak life to yourself
Absolutely.
so that you can get to where you want to be.
And you know what? I think, like, because women, we take on so much, and
Mhm,
we're usually the we think about ourselves last.
mhm.
But what I'm learning is you should not do that, because you can't be better for anyone else if
Right.
your thoughts aren't right, if
That's
your mind isn't right. So tell me a little bit about, like, what would you say as a life coach to a woman that always puts herself last because she's not doing the self-care part?
They sometimes think that focusing on themselves is selfish, which it
Mm-hmm.
is, and it's a good selfish. You may not have ever thought of selfish as being good, but that's a good selfish to put yourself
Mm-hmm.
first because
Mm-hmm.
it does no good for you. You're deteriorating. I see people who they are awesome and they're not taking, especially taking care of their health. We all kind of struggle a little bit with that. You fall off the wagon, just get back
Right.
on. But take care of yourself first. Speak life to yourself first. Take time out for that self-care that we talk about, where yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's your time away from the kids, a time away from the husband or any other family members, because it's important that you keep yourself healthy mentally and physically. Because if you're not right mentally or physically and you helping somebody else, you can only help them to the extent of where you are. If you're
Absolutely.
unhealthy, you can't help anybody else be healthy. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at your children and you say, "Oh, I want my children to be better than me," and you're pouring into them and you're helping them every night with homework and you're going to all the school events and you're making sure that the recruiters see them, but you ain't did nothing for yourself, your kids are going to end up walking the same path that you did because they're watching you.
Absolutely.
They're watching you. And if you aren't
Absolutely.
elevating yourself, they won't elevate themselves either.
Right. One of the things we used to say in the military is your soldiers emulate you. So if and it's the same thing at home, because it's not about what I say, do as I say. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter what you say, because they're going to look at your actions, they're going to look at what you're doing, and that is the pattern of behavior that they're going to follow. So one of the things you really have to understand is your children emulate you. Your
Yeah.
nieces and nephews and grandkids, all of them, they're looking at you. So it doesn't matter what you say, they're going to emulate you. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
happens. It just passed down from generation to generation because
Yeah.
kids are sponges. But even people in your environment, you
Yeah.
look at your network of people. Don't be
Right.
the smartest and the richest in your network. Find
Right.
some people who making more money than you. Hang out with them. Find some people who are smarter than you and hang out with them. But
Mm-hmm.
you want to be somewhere where have a vision where you can elevate to, because sometimes if you can't see it, you can't be it. So
Right.
seek out those people who are maybe doing what you do and or doing something amazing that you want to do. Follow them, hunt them down, be like
Right.
them, befriend them so that you can elevate yourself.
What I like what you said, if you can't see it, you can't be it. And a lot of times, as you know, I don't want to say as women, but I'm speaking from, my own experience, from perspective of other women. We don't like to get out. We don't like to talk to other women. We don't like to it's crazy.
It is. It is. And we say,
Now,
well, we
what
say,
kind of thought led you to have that type of belief or have that type of behavior? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, we were talking about the thoughts. But yeah, we don't want to get out, and we don't want to network and things like that. So yeah.
yeah, people have been hurt. People have
Yeah.
been hurt. They have been let down. They've been disappointed, disrespected. And at times we allow that to shape our life.
Right.
And you can choose how you want to design your life. So you can hold on to the hurt and the pain, because sometimes that gives us a place to stand in life. I become Melody the victim.
Right.
Melody the victim is giving me a place, it's giving me a definition. That's how I end up defining myself, is by the hurt and the pain from the past. Or you can choose to take on something positive and be Melody the victor. And
Mm.
I say, I want to take on being awesome and amazing and upbeat and bubbly. It's a
Right.
choice that we're making. So, however your life is going, that's how you have chosen for it to go. It's not by
Oh.
accident. It's not by accident. You have a date with destiny and you get to define what destiny looks like for you.
Yep.
So I can
Yep.
choose to sit and wallow, oh, I'm divorced and I'm single, I ain't got no kids and stuff. Or
Mm-hmm.
I can live my most amazing life. I've been traveling all through the pandemic. I dated all through the pandemic, girl. I used to date
That's
men at
what's
the
up.
grocery store. I'm like, meet me at the grocery store. I go do my grocery shopping, and that's how we date with our mask on in the grocery store. But eventually, you got to take that mask down. I need to see what his teeth look like.
Right. Lisa
Ah,
Artist said, "Woo."
yes, yes. You get to define your life. You better define
Mhm.
it how you want it to be. Set yourself up for success. Yes.
Absolutely. One of the things when you talked about it's so key. You said the victim being a victim because it's true because you get locked in that story and that's the story you keep telling yourself. You never separate yourself from that story because that story is actually you're getting something from it. Anytime we do anything, we're getting something from it. So whether
Mhm.
it be attention, whether people feel sorry for you, whatever it is, you're attracting that by saying that victimized story over and over again. But like you said, becoming a victor requires a different thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Change. You
your
got to change your
thoughts.
mind. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Change your mind. Change your thoughts. When you feel that negative thought coming in, that's okay. Beat it down with three more positive thoughts because you get to write your story. I've seen this quote that said, when writing your story, don't let anybody else hold a pen. And that's how it is when you're letting all that hurt and pain and rejection or whatever you had define
Absolutely.
your life. Grab that pen and write your life story how you want it to be.
Absolutely. Why do you think it's so challenging for people to get out of that rut? You know what I'm saying? Like because you hear people, this always happens to me. This happens to me. It. It's all So
Yeah.
why do you think it's so challenging?
Well, so my friend and I, so my friend who's on here, Tammy Matthews, she's a coach. I
Hey
see some of my
Tammy.
buddies on here,
Hmm.
Deborah and Tanya, and we talk about the vibration in life.
Hmm.
Have you met people and as soon as you meet them, you're just attracted to them? You can just feel that positive energy, that upbeat, but it
Yeah.
takes something to be there. When I enter a room, at times I am the light in the room because that's how
Hmm.
I'm choosing to enter the room. I'm upbeat,
Right.
I'm happy, I'm talking to everybody, I'm smiling, I'm walking with confidence, shoulders
Right.
back, chest out. Well, my chest is out to get attention from the men. But anyway, so So, but it takes something to move beyond. There's a low level of vibration that we all have. And that's where all that negative hurt and pain is. It
Absolutely.
takes you to vibrate at a higher level because there's some energy you have to put in to be able to get to that positive thinking, to be able to do affirmations, to be able to
Hmm.
speak life over yourself and others. I
Right.
don't wake up like this. I wake
Right.
up like most people. I'm dragging in the morning, and
Right.
then when I get up and my foot hits the floor, and I'm on Zoom every day with my training class. I tell
Yeah.
people I'm paid to be upbeat and happy. I'm the one at 7:30 a.m. that's like, "Good morning, how y'all doing? Well, you've been
Right.
amazing, and I know you are too." But it takes something to do that. It
Hmm.
takes a higher level of vibration. It takes nothing for me to just say, "Oh, hi, good morning." But that ain't what I'm paid for. I'm paid to
Right.
vibrate at a high level. And
Yeah.
that's how I can then keep my life moving forward towards what I want. I put that energy in and I do the work.
Say that again. She put that energy in and she does the work because some people, they get the plan, they get everything they need to do, they know everything they need to do, then they don't want to put the work in.
Yeah, it takes something. People who are doing awesome and amazingly well. It's not because they got lucky. There ain't
Right.
no luck. A lot of times when we see people and we say, "Oh, they're an overnight success," no, they've been rapping for 10 years or more
Exactly.
before they're discovered. They've been writing for
Exactly.
years. They've been singing for years. They've been dancing for years. Sure, there are a few overnight successes, but that's the minority. The
Right.
majority of people who are doing well in life, they put the work in. They've been studying stocks and bonds since they were a kid. Maybe they
Yep.
grew up in a household like that. In our
Yep.
household, we tend to say, I grew up around a lot of people that tend to say, "Oh, I don't have money for that," or
Yeah.
people say I'm broke, I
Right.
ain't got it. As opposed to, there's other ways you can say things. You can
Mm-hmm.
say, my money is budgeted for a vacation that's coming up in November because I'm going to Bimini Islands in November.
Yeah.
So as opposed to saying I'm broke or I don't got it, or girl, what are you talking about taking a trip? No,
Mhm.
I say, oh, my money is budgeted for Bimini Islands. You see the difference?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
change that conversation, change your thought. And people may look at you weird, but that's okay, because you know what? Eventually they're gonna want to be you. They might look at you weird, but when they see you living their best life, they say, she living her best life. I can live her best life. Like, be an example. You don't have to be a
Absolutely.
follower, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. So guess what?
What?
We are at the top
Ooh.
of the first half hour. That
Ooh.
time went just like that. And when we come back, we're going to get into some more of this life coaching. We're going to talk about the programs that you have. We're going to talk about your sorority. We're going to
Sure.
just do it all right
Okay.
after this commercial, okay?
Thank you.
Contemporary Living Live has been powered by T Gnome Nails, Andre the Realtor, and Shiro and Farm Hill Coffees. And now let's get Mel back in here. And we're back. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something. I had wrote it down. Hold on, let me see. Uh, it when you talk about unlocking. Let's talk about unlocking your full potential. Some people are still like trying to find their purpose.
Yeah.
One of the things that I did to, like, when you want to find your purpose, just put yourself out there and
Mm-hmm.
see what fits. And
Yeah.
then you'll naturally gravitate to some things, and you'll naturally be, you won't gravitate towards other things. And so
Yeah.
that kind of gives you an idea. And that's why service is so important. So what would you tell someone, because you got people in not only in their 20s, they're in their 40s,
Yeah.
50s, 60s, still saying, I got to find myself.
Yeah, I know. And it is that service. What I tell people is find a service organization and do a lot of different roles. So do something where you have to be at the front greeting people. Do something where you have to set the room up for an event, or take the event decorations down. I am the person that loves greeting people. I love saying, "Hey, how you doing? Welcome to this event. Can I show you to your table?" Or selling raffle tickets for various events. So you have to, like you say, put yourself out there, find a volunteer organization, find a way to volunteer, do a variety of different things, and the thing that you like doing the most, do it over and over again.
All right. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit. Let's go to the STEM apprenticeship program and how you're a trainer. Tell us something about that program. And actually, if some people are watching, this may be of good news, good information for you. So Mel, tell us about that.
So the program is called Step It Up. And the it is capital I, capital T. It's a technology training program that's run by a company I work for called UST Global. And what we do is recruit people in various cities and we train them in technology. You do not have to have any prior experience.
Mm,
You have to be able to think logically. You have to have a good command of the English language and pass our interview. If you do all of that, then you are hired. It's a 5 to 6 month boot camp. So we train people in Java technology, which is really hot right now. We
mm-hmm,
train people in database management, cybersecurity, mainframe, sometimes some old stuff like COBOL, but business analysis, project management. And
mm-hmm.
once you graduate from the program, it is tough though. It's a boot camp similar to the Army, similar to the military, but there is class every day, 8 days a week, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. You have homework every night. You have presentations, you have projects, you have tests
Oh,
every
that's boot
week.
camp for real.
Yep, it's boot camp for real. You have to maintain a certain average in the program, and I manage that and make sure that they're learning, that they're coming. I train in soft skills, so I train people around
Mm-hmm.
communication,
Yeah.
teamwork, and leadership. So when they graduate from the program, they are well rounded and they work for a top company. I've done training for Penske, for Discover, for McDonald's, for Home Depot, just a variety of companies. True Value
Yeah.
in Atlanta, and I lived a bunch of different places, but it's a great program
Yeah.
and it's awesome because it can transform your life.
Wow, that's
And we
amazing.
pay
Now,
people. That's what I forgot to say.
oh
We pay.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're paid.
you're
You're
going
a
to get
paid
your gas money
employee.
to go. You go to the
Yeah.
training program.
Look, I don't really need gas money now because we're doing it online. You don't even have to go anywhere. But yeah,
Oh
it's a
wow.
paid training program. Now, when you're going through the training, the pay isn't that much, but when you graduate, you get a significant increase.
Wow. So Erica says, how long is the program? She might miss what you said.
It's 5 to 6 months. Yeah,
Nice.
5 to 6 months. It's
Okay.
intense, but you go through it as a group. And so
Mhm.
people, they bring each other along. So no person left behind. It's for
Right.
minorities, veterans, and women. So I
Yep.
don't have a link. We are mostly found on LinkedIn. If you look for
Yeah.
STEP,
Yep.
STEP it up, Step It Up, look for us on LinkedIn. We are also associated with a company called Expansion, Expanxion. So either Expansion or Step It Up or UST Global, you'll find us.
Okay. So we'll get that put in and then step it up,
Yes.
step it up, step IT
Anybody over
up.
18, I see people asking what age. It's for adults, so over 18. I did have someone in the program one time who he was like 18. He was like the youngest in the program. Most people
Oh
in the
wow.
program are like in their 30s and 40s because
Hmm.
they're using it as an opportunity to transform their lives from something that they didn't
Right.
like doing to something that they're going to love to do.
Right. And I know a number of times I've advertised because you do it for women veterans in general. You know, I'm always focused on women veterans, but
Yeah.
yeah, definitely a great program for veterans. Lots of times when you're leaving the military, and I'd like to work with people that are transitioning out of the military, off active duty, they don't have a plan. You'd be amazed at the fact that they don't have a plan. And so that's one of the programs that I like to promote is your Step It Up program. So
Mhm.
yes. So
Thank
you talked about communication. That's part of
you.
what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So now we had Valerie on here and she was amazing. I think Valerie is here now. I don't know if I know I saw her name.
Yeah, I did too.
Dr. Val. So tell us about how you got such great communication skills. Tell us about that.
I put the work in.
Listen, people, that's the thing for today. Put the work in. Put in the work.
Yeah, I didn't start out like this. I was the chubby kid who sat in the corner with glasses and reading books. That was me as a child. I was not the talker because I was a little heavier when I was younger, and people told me I was fat. That was the thing back in the day, and not the PHAT, the FAT. So I just said, well, let me just keep to myself over here and read these here books.
Right.
And eventually, I went to college at the U of I, and I joined Zeta Phi Beta, and people started saying, "You speak well." Well, I used to read, and then I guess I automatically, and plus my mom was a talker. My mother loved to talk. We would talk in church. We'd do different things in church too. Church is a good place to get started. And
Absolutely.
eventually they say, "You speak so well. Why don't you speak on this program?" And then sometimes I didn't have a choice because when I joined my sorority chapter, it was very small. I had no choice but to speak. When we had an event, I had to speak. And I wasn't saying to myself, let me speak well. It's just how it came out. But then eventually I joined Toastmasters, which is an organization that trains you in speaking and leadership. And I started practicing. I've been in Toastmasters for 10 years. So the way you hear me speaking now, I wasn't sounding like this when I was 30 or 35. I'm 57 now. It's taken, I put the work in 10 years in Toastmasters, practicing my speaking, reducing my ums and ahs, and making sure I'm getting my message across. I also did 2 years of courses at Landmark. I did one course called Team Management and Leadership Program, and that was after 2 classes in communication. And I took my life through 2 years of upset, overwhelm, and breakdown to cause breakthroughs. So who you see here now is not because I read a book. It's like swimming. You can't read a book and learn how to swim.
Right.
I had to put the work in, and I went up and down in my life and side and back. And so now I'm here to help other people. Sure, you could go on the 10-year journey I went on. Or you could get a life coach and it might be 5 years. It might be 2 years.
Because one thing
it could come quicker when you get that life coach to help you along.
Absolutely. That's exactly what coaches and mentors are supposed to do. They're supposed to collapse timelines.
Yes.
So when you get a coach, what you would think would take 10 years should take, like you said, collapse that timeline. It should take 5 years. So that's a wonderful thing. So tell us about, we're going to go back to coaching.
Okay.
We're going to go back to coaching.
Okay.
So tell us what was that pivotal moment where you said, I need to teach this to others? What were the thoughts in your head to say, someone else has got to know this?
Well, it was me looking at what other people were going through. You can go in a room and you can just look around and you could see the despair on people's faces. And eventually, after going to enough events and seeing that, I said, well, it's time for me to make a difference. I can't remember like the pivotal moment. I remember thinking to myself, I don't really want to be a life coach. But then people started coming to me and say, Melody, I need to talk to you. Melody, I want to talk to you. I need to share something with you, get your thoughts. And then so eventually it was just like gradual that I was like, oh, well, I think I'm life coaching. And so I just got a business card and said, hey, I'm a life coach, because you get to say who you are in life. And for me, I said, I'm a life coach. And I just set up a website, got some business cards, and started coaching folks, and it started working. I said, yes.
Wonderful. And so apparently it's evident that you get something out of it. Is it some type of joy? It's something. We can feel it. It's coming through the screen.
Yeah. It's definitely the joy when I see somebody, because it makes no sense for me to have the most amazing life ever and then everybody around me not be able to join me with that, right? I don't want to travel by myself everywhere, and I don't want to be the only one at an event having a really great time. So yes, I see joy in other people living their best lives, helping other people. Then I know that I'm walking the right path because I have the evidence. I could talk to so and so and so and so and so and so, and they can tell you how I've helped them. And I say, oh, I'm doing something right. I recently chartered a new Toastmaster club with Melissa is a part of. And again, as I will watch people go through their journey of being gripped by fear with speaking to where they're a little more comfortable and eventually
Right.
become confident with speaking, then I know
Right.
I'm doing the right thing. And I
Right.
do feel a sense of pride and self-worth. And I say, thank you, God, for giving me these gifts. And yes, I'm going to share them.
One of the words you just said was confidence. Sometimes people just lack that confidence.
Yeah.
What would you advise someone, just general advice, who just they lack confidence? It's the only thing that's holding them back is their confidence.
Confidence. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's that's right back with going out and finding what you do well.
Hmm.
Sometimes you study and spelling for a math test.
Mm.
And you will start to think, something is wrong with me. Why can't I get this right? You studying this spelling for a math test.
Right.
Well, you got to figure out what it is you do well. We all do something well. God
Right.
puts something on our heart, and we say, "No, God, I don't want to do that."
Right.
No, yeah, I sing well, but I don't want to do that. I dance well, but I don't want to do that. I bake well, but
Right.
I don't want to do that. We always with something we do well, and then we say we don't want to do that. I speak well, and I
Right.
want to do it.
Right.
So you want to find that thing that you do well, and then
Hmm.
that's what you do. And sometimes it may even just be listening. Then
Hmm.
that's also around life coaching or
Right.
therapy. Because some people say, "Well, I don't really do much." When my friends call me, it's that listening. Listening
Yeah.
is important, or maybe you get people, but find out what you do well and do that. And then that kind of builds your confidence. That makes sure you study in math for a math test.
Right.
When you are doing what you do well and do it over and over, you get confidence, and you're going to make mistakes because you're human, not because you're dumb, but you
Right.
will make mistakes, and that's okay. You fall down, you get back up.
Oh, that is beautiful. Cheryl Rainey, she said, "Hi, coach. I am
Oh,
among her first clients." So,
yeah,
hey, you got the evidence right there. You know,
yeah, it
Cheryl wouldn't
is.
be on here if you did not
That's
help.
right. That's right. I ain't sending no check.
Right, right, right. So let's talk about, you said so we know about Toastmasters. So let's talk about your sorority. Let's
Yes.
talk a little bit about that and the leadership roles you play. Because I mean, you're a speaker, you're a trainer, you're a coach, but you're also a leader.
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's talk about
Leading.
some of the roles that you've had.
In the sorority. Oh man. So I've had them on all levels. I put the work in there too because I've been a member 37 years. So I put all the work in at the local level, been a chapter president on the regional level. I've worked. I did 6 years at the scholarship chairperson and sometimes pulling teeth to get people to apply for scholarships on a national level. I've planned a national learning and development conference
Right,
this past July. So I've done things on all levels because when I find something that I love, I'm extremely passionate about it. And I
right.
do it a lot and I do it over. That's what gives me my confidence
Mhm,
because I know
mhm.
what I'm good at. I
Right,
know what
right.
I bring to the table. Ain't no question about it. I know what
Absolutely.
I bring to the table, and that's what brings you confidence. I don't bring everything, and I don't need to bring everything.
Hmm.
There's a theory that said work within your strengths. There are some
Hmm.
things you're not good at. Don't worry about them things. Some people say
Right.
just work within your strengths. So that's what I do. I bring what I
Hmm.
have to the sorority. The sorority has helped me to develop who I am inside of being a leader, being a communicator, being someone who can stand in the front of a room and speak, who can organize an event, who can recruit people and train people. A lot of that came from sorority, which was all service because the sorority ain't paid me a dime, honey.
Right, right. Not one
But
dime.
but I've used them to hone my skills, which has been great. I
Absolutely.
gave them something and they gave me back something. That's right,
You,
Janine. Cohort
you
number
see,
one.
Jeanette, right?
Yeah, cohort number one. That's right. Love being
Wonderful.
the first.
And one of the things I like what you said about confidence by doing things, continuously doing things over and over helps you build confidence. Like who on here now doesn't know their ABCs?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They
You
practice.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We gained that confidence when we were younger, and now we know them. So yes,
Mhm.
confidence is also really important. So another thing I want to talk about is you also do relationships. Talk about it's not just
I
about
do.
life, it's
I
about
do.
relationships. And it's a lot of single people out here. So what
Yeah.
what give us some nuggets on relationships?
Relationships, it takes time. Now I'm not, so I talk about dating more. See, I'm not in a
Yeah,
relationship. Remember, you can't talk about what what you ain't
that's
doing.
right.
So I can't talk about marriage, but I can talk about dating for sure. I
Yes.
internet date quite a bit, very open-minded. I've dated short, tall, fat, skinny, all type of guys. And like my friend Tammy just co-signed about, I dated people at grocery stores during the pandemic. Meet me at the Walgreens, because y'all know I got to get my prescription. But go meet me maybe at the Walgreens, dating people at the grocery store, but you want to put yourself out there. Some people say they're so afraid of internet dating because that little critic in your head
Yeah.
is telling you there's something wrong with it. You don't watch too many Lifetime channel movies about
Yeah.
internet men and how they can
Mhm.
prey on you. Thing you want to remember is you are in control. You
Ooh.
have the power. So you only go where you want to go. You only talk to who you want to talk to. You only do what you want to do. So I don't go to people's houses or anything like that. I meet
Yeah.
you out in public. We're going to meet at a restaurant or at the grocery store, but somewhere out in public, we're going to talk. I'm going to drive myself. You're not going to pick me up. And I'm going to ask you what kind of car you're in. And on purpose, I show up a little late. Find their car, get the license plate number, and I text that. I have a bestie who I text name and phone numbers to. Okay, I'm going to Olive Garden. Here's his name and phone number, and maybe even his driver's license, his
Mhm.
license plate,
Yeah.
if need be. But you are in control. You have the power. Don't ever feel like the victim. You don't have to respond to everybody who sends you a message. You sure
Mhm.
don't.
Mhm.
But just know that you want to keep yourself safe. Don't allow people to coerce you or say, what's wrong with you that you won't let me pick you up or you won't come over my house? Ain't nothing wrong with me. I just know who I am. And here's the deal. You can meet me at Walgreens or not. Because men are like buses, honey. One pass, another one is coming. So
Mhm. What I was gonna say is, a lot of people think that I love the way you just personify your singleness and just joy in that and fun in that, and it's engaging and entertaining, and you're living your best life.
mhm.
But because a lot of people think that being in a relationship or being married is a destination. No, honey, that's just a different journey.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
it.
That's right. It is a different journey because again, you have to put the work in. I will know when I get married again, I will be a different wife. I
Right,
won't withhold.
right, right,
You want something to die, hold on to it and not share it with someone else. That's how you
right.
kill the love in relationships. But I won't withhold love or intimacy. I will
Mhm.
communicate. I say what's on my mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes men can't take it because I've been called aggressive and assertive, and that's okay. That's how I am. I guess you won't have to bet. You won't have to guess what's on my mind. How about that?
Right, right.
You can deal with somebody else, and if you want to play a guessing game, go ahead. You don't have to guess what's on my mind because I'm gonna tell you. And if you can't take it, then I'm just not the right person for you, and that is okay because we all will end up with who we're supposed to end up with. I feel like God put us here as social creatures. I don't believe He
Absolutely.
wants us to be alone. I believe He wants
No.
us to be with others, and
Hmm.
you do have to do the work. You got to know thyself first
Yeah,
before you can go looking or be open to meeting someone else.
absolutely. So I ask everyone, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
5 years from now,
I don't
ooh,
even go 10 anymore because technology and everything is moving
I
so fast. I
know.
don't even go 10 anymore.
I know, because 5 years from now, we'll be in those driverless cars, right? I'll be in the back trying
Right.
to learn how to play bid whist.
Remember the Jetsons? We thought we would be.
Yeah, yeah. We wait on, because who would think we'd be sitting working from home? When I first started my
Absolutely.
job back in 2014, I
Hmm.
was working from home and people were so envious. And I said, just wait, you'll get to work from home. And look, I spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
So, but
Look at
5 years from now, I will be 62. I will be nearing retirement. I love my job and I love working. So I'm not in a rush for anything, but I
Yeah.
will be looking forward to retiring. By then, I would have traveled to some more international places,
Yeah.
Africa, Costa Rica,
Yeah.
Venice. I want to ride down the waterways in Venice. I will have spoken internationally. I will
Right.
have written another book. I will,
Yes.
yes, I will have my life partner, and he and I will do some amazing things together. So there's a lot of stuff coming up
And
in
don't forget about the
what?
transformative coaching in Cancun.
Right. The retreat. So my friend
That's
Tammy and I,
right.
yeah, she's also a life coach. She's a naturopath. She does especially the health coaching, but
Oh,
she does
wow.
the health, body, the mind, body, and spirit, because you can't do one without the other. And we
That's
were
right.
in Cancun, and as we were talking to them about what's possible, and we were creating affirmations for ourselves in the water, then we realized, oh wow, we could bring other women to Cancun and transform some lives. And
Yeah.
eventually, I forgot this one, Melissa, I am going to start an MC comedian business because I'm so funny. I think I'm
Ooh,
really funny. I want to
that's
be a comedian.
wonderful.
Yeah, I want to be like that little old lady who's a comedian, because nowadays, right, in your
Right.
60s, you could get a brand new career. So
There you
in my
go.
60s, I'm going to be a comedian traveling the world telling jokes, honey. People going to pay me to laugh.
There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you see there's the contact Coach Mel Byrd. There's her information. Mel, we only have 5 minutes left, and I have to close us out. It
Okay.
has been an honor and a
Thank
privilege and a
you.
pleasure having you, not only as a professional, but as my friend.
Yeah.
I know you're going to be back here. We're going to have to get Tammy on this show so she can talk about some
Ooh.
stuff too, now that you've said that.
Yes,
But
she's the health coach.
thank you
Yeah.
so much. And I'm going to close out. So it in 30 seconds, give us some words.
So in 30 seconds, there are 3 ways to transform your life. 3 things: passion, commitment, and teamwork. Anywhere you're stuck, apply passion, commitment, and teamwork and transform your life. You can move past any problem that you're having.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Love you, babe.
Love you
Thanks,
too.
everybody.
Alrighty. All right. So as I close out, I'm dedicating this poem to every woman watching Contemporary Living tonight and on the replay. And this poem is by Sarah Krasinski. And it says, one morning she woke up different, done with trying to figure out who was with her, against her, walking down the middle because they didn't have the guts to pick a side. She was done with anything that didn't bring her peace. She realized that opinions were a dime a dozen. Validation was for parking, and loyalty wasn't a word, but a lifestyle. It was this day that changed her life. And not because of a man or a job, but because she realized that life is way too short to leave the key to your happiness in someone else's pocket. Guess what? Mel brought it to us, you guys. And remember this poem as you start your week. So, my simple hope is that every woman on the face of the earth gets a good night's rest tonight. And tomorrow morning, wake up feeling different, because self awareness is a beautiful thing and your happiness matters. Okay. So, as always, we thank God for his unmerited, undeserving favor called grace. Grace is the total absence from doing anything. You can't work for it, you can't buy it, and you can't sell it. It just is. And God gives it to each and every one of us freely. And as believers, we know that Christ died, he was buried, and rose again on the third day for our justification. It's in the word. Now let that sink in. On behalf of myself and my multi-talented, hardworking husband, Andre Hill, be brilliant, be you, be blessed. See you here March 27th.